Some trials test the body, others test the spirit. In this episode of Celestial Legends, Hercules faces challenges that cannot be overcome by strength alone. Through endurance, compassion, and mercy, he discovers that the greatest power a hero can possess lies within the soul. This is Hercules and the 12 labors. Strength of the soul. Some trials test the body, others test the spirit. In this episode of Celestial Legends, Hercules faces challenges that cannot be overcome by strength alone. Through endurance, compassion, and mercy, he discovers that the greatest power a hero can possess lies within the soul. This is Hercules and the 12 labors. Strength of the soul. One task led Hercules far from familiar lands, into places shaped by hardship and fear. The journey itself became a trial, long days, quiet nights, and moments when doubt whispered more loudly than any enemy. There were no crowds to witness his effort, no clear sign that success waited ahead. Still, Hercules continued. Strength of the soul, he was learning, is shown not in certainty, but in the will to keep going. Along the way, Hercules encountered suffering he could not simply remove. Some burdens were too deep to lift, some wounds too old to heal quickly. Once this would have angered him. Now he stayed, he listened, he offered what he could, even when it felt small. In these moments, Hercules discovered that compassion is a form of strength, one that does not conquer pain, but honors it with presence. Another labor brought him face to face with fear, not his own, but that of others. Shadows lingered where hope had thinned, and trust came slowly. Hercules resisted the urge to rush forward, to force safety into being. Instead, he moved gently, step by step, allowing courage to grow where fear had lived. Strength of the soul, he realized, does not demand bravery from others. It creates space for it to emerge. There were moments when exhaustion settled deep within him, heavier than any stone he had ever lifted. His body ached, his spirit wearied, and the path ahead seemed endless. In those moments, Hercules rested, not in defeat, but in honesty. He learned that enduring does not mean never stopping. It means knowing when to pause, breathe, and rise again with intention. As each labor tested his resolve, Hercules noticed a quiet transformation. He no longer measured success by how quickly challenges ended. He measured it by the care he showed along the way. Strength, once proven through action alone, now revealed itself through patience, mercy, and restraint. The hero he was becoming moved more slowly, but with deeper purpose guiding every step. Some trials required Hercules to face creatures bound by fear or duty rather than malice. He approached them not as enemies, but as beings caught in circumstances beyond their choosing. Where others might have sought destruction, Hercules chose understanding. Strength of the soul, he learned, is the ability to show mercy when power makes cruelty easy. In sparing harm, he felt his own spirit grow steadier and clearer. Not every labor ended neatly. Some left lingering questions, unresolved sorrow, or lessons that could not be named all at once. Hercules accepted this. He understood now that growth is not always marked by triumph. Sometimes it is marked by reflection, by carrying forward what has been learned, even when the outcome feels incomplete. Endurance, he realized, is learning to live with complexity without losing compassion. As word of his journey spread, Hercules was no longer spoken of only as a figure of strength. Stories told of his kindness, his fairness, and the quiet steadiness he brought to troubled places. These words reached him softly, without fanfare. They mattered less than before, but they confirmed something within him. The strength shaping his soul was visible not in legend, but in lives gently changed. With each step, Hercules felt less driven by redemption and more guided by purpose. The weight he once carried as guilt had transformed into responsibility, one he bore willingly. Strength of the soul, he understood, does not erase the past. It integrates it, allowing experience to deepen wisdom. He no longer feared the trials ahead. He trusted the person he had become through facing them. As the final labors approached, Hercules sensed that the greatest tests were no longer external. They lived within choice, intention, and restraint. He had learned to master strength, to share it, and now to temper it with mercy. Whatever awaited him next would demand not only courage, but grace. And for the first time, Hercules felt ready, not because he was powerful, but because he was whole. Thus, Hercules continued forward, guided by a strength that reached beyond muscle and might. His soul, shaped by endurance and compassion, stood steady beneath the weight of all he had learned. The labors ahead would ask much of him, but they would find him prepared. For true strength is not proven in conquest alone, but in the quiet courage to act with mercy, even when the world demands otherwise.